So as you can see, this is my friend, and we are trying to do some build. This is the build that I'm trying to say is that if let's say this build itself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, it shoot down the enemy so fast. Yes, so the damage of this about 5 or 6 bullets itself we can make kill the enemies. Yep. So 陶醉啊，救一下 yeah. Yeah, so yeah, so about 5 to 6 bullets, yep, around there. Around 5 to 6 bullets that we can shoot down an enemy. So let's do the test again. Let's do a test again. So this you can see. Let us count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bullets, and we can down the enemy. So which means in the dark zone itself, if let's say there is about 6 bullets on the head of anyone, we will be very powerful in this in the dark zone, and this build is so good, I can say. Yep. So yeah, this is what I mean as right now I min max, consider as min max the raw damage for PvP. Yep. Hello guys, this is Goofy Playground here. Welcome back to the new build. Yes, just before the previous preview that you have seen in what we have shown, that my new build that is going on, which is what we all call the Lonestar, and it's so fantastic that you can see that it's around like 6 shot on the head, and in the occupied dark zones, and I can down anyone. And this build itself is so good, and why I want to say that, and I would really want to introduce you guys that how I do this build for you guys. Yep, so that you guys also can do this build for PVE and PVP at the same time. This build is very good on both areas, as I promised on my previous video that I want to share this build for you guys. So this build is considered like a Lone Star, which uh, from the first time that I know about this talent. Yes, fill up. As you can, yes, this build, this skill, this talent. So I will go one by one to explain why does this build comes into whole place to become a very good synergy for me. So let's go to the shooting range. First thing wise that I want to do some interesting build other than the vector that I have seen outside, that there's a lot of vectors and start to get nerf. So right now I saw some YouTube videos that they says that LMG is better, but I don't like the reload speed. As you can see, this is what we are using all the military black market M60. So the problem of M60 is, sorry, the problem of M60 is the reload speed is very long. Yes, it's very long, but for the specializations, if let's say we see on the specializations, they have a perk that will help you to increase your reload speed and the stability of the weapon. That means the weapon handling, everything. So which means LMG doesn't have the big spread anymore that you can see on the reticle. Yep, this is so big, you can see. So but if let's say we will zoom, we have this sharpshooter perk on, they zoom in fast within 1 second, you can see, zoom in fast. So everything is so good using a sharpshooter. Yep, so this is why I choose a sharpshooter rather than demolicious. Yep, so and filler up itself, yes, because filler up have these special things that we all have says. Then maybe we may sometimes will need to reload through our LMG, but sometimes we doesn't. Sometimes we can't do by this way, that we can do like this. Like we got 2 LMG, as you can see, 1 2. Yes, so for example, let's empty this magazine first. Yes, let's empty this magazine. Yep. And we swap to the other weapon. Yep. firing non-stop. You can see that if in the real action itself, combat fight itself, we are considered keep on firing non-stop, and you can see both is empty. And I switch to this weapon, which is the yes, the double barrel saw off, which is very good on the reload. You can see pop and pop pop reload, and both of my weapon has been reloaded. So which means that the reload is much more faster. I can reload in 2 seconds for my two of my LMG, and I doesn't consume. The best thing is I doesn't consume any ammo. You can see I doesn't consume. Now it's still 894, right? So it still have the unlimited ammo. So which means that we can constantly fight in the PVE. So it's so viable in PVE PVP. So since that I have this filler up that I think is so good for fighting, is it good to go use filler up in uh in dark zone? Yes, there is a few situation that using two LMG, doing using two LMG for fights like uh for 4 against 4 or 3, all this, you have 200 bullets to deal with them. And you imagine that I have said before, 6 bullets to the head, I can down a person. I got 200. I think um even I'm I'm a potato, I still can land. I think if I'm lucky enough, I can land I can land the 6 bullets on the head. So it's the most important thing that that we can land the head. Yep. So if let's say we can land the 6 bullets on the head itself, that's the best thing on on earth. And of course, if you let's say you have seen on the previous on the intro that I put down, that I didn't put down any of my buff. So how do I increase the damage of my this MG? Actually, there is a few perks that actually that helping my LMG, that means the Lonestar build. Yes, the Lonestar build to become much more better. Of course, we all need to focus first. Is this is the filler up is my main focus. That how I want it to be. Then after that, we all will look into the guns talents that we are using this unhinged, which will receive about 25 weapon damage at a cost of 30 minus of 35 weapon handling. But we don't really need that weapon handling, because with the with the yes, with the sniper rifle, we have very good handling for our weapon. Yes, it's a very good win-win situation using the sharpshooter, because no matter what, we will have a better reload speed and a better handling. So it will help me on the passive wise, that it actually helps me on the weapon handling part. So actually it's still okay with the specialization, and of course rate of fire to increase our damage. Yes, because much more higher rate of fire. Yes, it's always better. For the third talents, I still not very sure, but I like what I like the most for my next this holster one, the Ensure. A lot of people doesn't like it, but of course it helps on the PVE a lot when I fight, because I doesn't really like the stunts from them, and sometimes I also doesn't like to get shocked. Yeah, but of course there's no agents using shock things at the moment, and those NPCs itself also doesn't affect much, so I doesn't see anything. But of course, the most important thing that on my double saw off is I really want this. Yes, this the talent, which is the yes, you can see on the stop, drop, and roll, which will help us to remove the burning, bleed, and poisonous uh, status. This is very annoying. So usually I will have this and I'll roll very fast to remove it. Yep. So for PVE or PVE, is all very valuable. So these talents is not the most important thing. Yes, the most important thing is the reload speed. So if let's say I can, you can see this is very fast. 1 2 pop. See? See, it reloads so fast, faster than my normal LMG. Yes, yes, norm faster than my normal LMG. But sometimes you do please understand that sometimes if let's say during on the fight there will be a grenade. Yes, if there's a grenade that have will disrupt on me, and at the same time I was reloading, it will help me to reload on my LMG, so I don't doesn't need to swap with this weapon. So there's different situation doing on the gameplay. I will show you in the later part that you will know. So this is one of the thing that we'll highlight on these synergies with two of my uh, black market M60, which is right now the better weapon. Yes, of most of them, they for what they says. Yes. So another thing right now we are focusing on is the second one, which is this weapon. No, this talent, which is what we all says as the compensate, which is weapon damage increase of 15% when critical hit chance is below 20. So in other words, that usually LMG doesn't have critical hit chance. Yes, we doesn't build a lot of critical hit chance in LMG usually. So if let's say you're using SMG, yes, we will focus on a lot of SMG. So, which means that if let's say I'm going to use LMG, which raw damage is very important for us. So, actually, this talent suits this build so well where that I need to use it, and I need to force myself to build a yeah, tr three less offensive. So if let's say I have three less offensive, this is a bad thing because we doesn't have a lot of attributes to increase our raw damage. So what we all can do to make our build to make much more optimized. Yes, there is a lot of ways. So this is what I'm going to do. Of course, we are going to do for the min max trying to constantly different type of buff during on the fight. So this is the first first thing that I'm going into the fight. So whenever that I'm going into the fight, I will do a pause so you can see my skills. There is a pause. So this pause itself will help me a lot. Even if my teammates have pause, I will have a 10% increase of weapon damage. That means if my friends, one of my teammates is a support or what, they are using pause, they keep on pausing, I will have an increase of damage. So whenever I do a pause, I will increase 10% weapon damage for myself. So it is a benefit for me. And of course, since I have pause, and I use a skill, and these skills have a very bad cooldown. I didn't focus on cooldown, so it have a very long cooldown around like 100 second. Yes, about very long. So there is this skills which is what we all call as the on the ropes, and this on the ropes is so damn good that doing on the ropes itself it will increase by 25% while all skills are on cooldown. And of course, self as when we are going to heal ourselves up, this is a very good thing. That means it's the cam launcher. A lot of you already know the healer cam launcher. So we can use this as our another recognized skill cooldown. So we will have another buff of 25% during if let's say our pause have finished of our 10% buff over here. Yes, our 10% damage buff, if let's say the cooldown has done, it will straight away move towards another increase of 25% damage of our two skills on cooldown, which means that it's much more better for us. So from here itself, another bonus that how we are going to help ourselves up on uh on our damage, which everybody knows that right now unstoppable force is a very good power. Yeah, a very good talent. As you can see, when I kill someone, we will increase about here is about yeah about 10 10k 10k max armor will increase about 2%, which means over here we got about 23. 23 times 2 is about 46%. 46% increase of damage. 46% increase of damage. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. So on top of that, that means 46% increase of damage on top of my on the ropes 25%, and on top of my 15% increase of weapon damage, and on top of my raw damage of my 25% unhinged itself. Oh my god, my LMG hit like a truck. Yes, that is why we can kill in the dark zone too, and of course we perform well in the PVE as well. You can see on the videos that how we melt NPCs. Yep, you can see how we melt NPCs or name bosses using our this build itself with one clip. Yep, with one clip. You can see it's so damn good, and it's non-stop actions on you're not stop you're firing non-stop. Yep, just keep on firing non-stop and they can't stop you at all. Yep, this is so good on everything that I feel. Yeah, on the damage. So this is how we increase our damage, even though our offense is very little. But of course, on the next patch of the raid, maybe that everything need to be changed. So there will be another version of my this Lonestar build. Maybe I will need to do some changes. I'm not very sure. So more or less let us see about the gears that how we are going to achieve it. Of course that a rowdy holding is really a very good thing, that because we are focusing a lot of these things, that if let's say you can see that if on my LMG it is quite stable already. It's quite stable already. You're constantly doing the rate damage on the head, on the face. You can see LMG, just LMG alone constantly, and we are quite stable. Yeah, using the sharpshooter because the perks. Yeah, so it's constantly on the headshot a lot. So this is best thing about using the sharpshooter, because our stability is very good, and since the stability is so good, it means that we will want this buff of the headshot damage, and with the headshot damage increase of the specializations of my of the sharpshooter, we have another increase of damage, which is this damage, which is what we will call the headshot damage plus 100%. That's a lot of increase of different type of buff of weapons. Yep, you can as we can say from there. So this is another good thing about my build, that that you have all these versatile things that we are going on. And this is another thing that actually I was I was in during on my previous video I did say that I've been farming this item which is called blue mods. So we have spent about 4 days and farm for this blue mods, which is called the generic system blue mods, which increase 6% of my LMG damage. And this generic mod can slot into any of the mod slot. That means utilities mod slot, we can slot in defensive mod slots, we can slot in any of the slots. We can just slot in and it's still recognized as the utilities. So it doesn't matter, the generic mod is so good. So I didn't farm for everything. I really didn't farm for everything. You can see the defensive one, I still put it in. It still count as the uh, defensive mod slots. So but we have an increase of LMG damage. It's actually quite broken, but of course I believe that it's going to be nerfed, so no need to really spend too much of the time for going for what I'm going for this blue moss. I already stopped farming it. I feel that it's going to be yep, going to be nerfed. I'm quite sad about this. If not, yes, I will guarantee put everything in my mod slots and increase more higher, which means 3 bullets or 4 bullets maybe to the head. The the players in the dark zone will die with my 200 bullets. Can they handle the bullets at all? I don't really know. You know, you know, in the dark zone, you have about 6 bullets on the head. That's all. That's all. If I got everything, is about maybe 4 or 3 bullets. This is the considered as a min max build, that the most perfect, which I have told you in the previous video that is about 80% because all the mod slots I doesn't have. So of course it still have some survival ability for patients, which is very useful for PVE because this build itself focus on count. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we focus on counter the meta build, which is the Vector. Yep, the Vector. The Vector is so powerful that we actually need to have a very good long distance. Yes, we need to have a very good long distance to have this laser beam. Yeah, we can see this laser beam. No matter how far they are, they can't. Vector have a weakness. They can't shoot you from far. So we always need to keep a distance, like this type of distance. They can't beam you down in 1 second. So we can, because we can laser beam them by about 6 shots. Yep, if let's say you can land all your 6 shots on the head. If not, is the body still also fine, because with all the buff, I'm not sure. With all the buff and all the skill buff, all this, that all the perks that we have, all this, it will increase the damage. For NPCs, I've seen the highest headshot damage before that I have is 120k damage on the head, which is a lot. Which is a lot. It's not damage to elites. You guys can see it here very clearly. Okay, I doesn't use any of that. And of course, this is a very important grenade. Use normal grenade for burst on. If let's say it's in PVE itself, you can use it to burst down them, you know, on far distance. If let's say and the good thing, even PVE, let's say it's from here, we are doing some damage over here, and we are suppressing the enemies, so they are hiding in the cover. So we will straight away throw this grenade. Once they are suppressed, then we throw the grenade and they can't move, and then that's it. So this is a very good skills with the grenade too. If let's say anything that I want to change, maybe in the future, maybe I will put some explosive damage over here, so to increase my damage for my grenade to around like 300 or 400k, so that I can one shot people in the dark zone. I'm not very sure, still wondering, because the new rate is still not here yet, so I'm not very sure how is it going to be, and all my mod slots. So this is more or less the build that I'm going for. Of course, this is considered about 80% done. It's very viable. It can do a lot of things. It's very flexible. There is a lot of different type of situation I would like to share with you guys. Even that you're going for PvE is so powerful. The damage is so high that actually you don't need any damage to elites. And of course, in the dark zones itself, no one can wreck you. It doesn't mean that no one can wreck me. There's still vectors itself that can kill me very fast, and one-shot sniper. Usually one-shot sniper kills me very well, because if let's say my laser beam, if they are too far, let's try this. Okay, this is the most far distance. Okay, let's do this far distance. If let's say they are very far away, I need a lot of laser beams. I take so long and to kill the snipers, and by the time they aim my head and shoot me, I'm dead already. So which means that a long distance that I have a bit of problem actually. So most probably that for me, around mid fight, you can see on the mid fight itself I can done very well. All close combat I'm also can do very well. So usually mid range fight I'm the best, but super long range fight this must depends on situation. So if let's say we meet snipers. Yep, if let's say we meet snipers, we need to play like vectors player. We need to play like vectors players, zigzags playing, ways of playing, and try to ambush the marksman rifle, one shot marksman rifle by doing close combat. We can do close combat and long distance combat, but of course not on the longest range. So this one due to situation how you're going to play this. But it is very fun on switching ammo. That situation like because you are using LMG, people thought that your reload speed is slow. They thought that you're reloading, then they are chasing me like non-stop. But actually, I can reload as fast as possible within around like 2 seconds, and I have another 200 bullets to fight with them again. So that is I I never done that uh video record before, but I remember there's 4 people or 5 people been chasing me when I was in manhunt. Yeah, they are chasing me in the dark zone non-stop, and I've been using pause in the dark zone is so useful. I know where are they running in different direction, and I can counter them by using pause. It's so good in dark zone. Doesn't mean that you need to use defender zone or drone, all this. That is too common. Yeah, so we can use the pause to know where's their position. We will position ourselves well because they doesn't know where your position is, and of course you can kill them in a very good way if let's say you don't know how to position yourself well in the dark zone. So this is my build actually, so hopefully you guys like this build. Yeah, hopefully you guys like this build, and I will show you guys on some gameplay on the back. So please, if you like this build itself, leave a like and give a support for all the other type of YouTubers also that give me so much good inspiration that I've have listed down before on my videos before. So what I'm going to use on this build, I will share more video clips about this build. How good is it in the dark zone, conflict, or even missions for PVE, and it may be even the raid. If let's say my build is still viable for the raid. So thank you for supporting. Yep, I will see you guys on the next video of my next build, which is the assault rifle headshot build. Yep, so I'll see you guys again. Thank you. Bye bye.82118211我在录视频，所以我们希望这个视频应该会做多一点开场，拉片，找多一点的灵感。Found the target. 有人0.4公里，应该在附近。挺靠近的，0.4公里，靠近。 要。对，这里。哎呀，爬不过。哎。完了，我在飞机。差不多要被干掉。这个飞机。干掉了这个飞机。这个人呢？我还在里面。他要进来了，他要进来干你们了。我跟你们说，还要进来了。小鸭。哎，有人。确定。